Hey, what's up everybody, Thunderbob here, and I wanted to do a video where I show just a couple of the systems that are in play in this game in the beta. Obviously I haven't seen end game, but I put about 10 hours into the beta. I know how a lot of them systems, the enchantments, the upgrades, items, how those work, gambling, and I want to spend just a couple minutes going through some of those systems. This video is going to be kind of like an informational video. So first off is the Blacksmith and the upgrade system here. And this is in the first like major city. I think each act is going to have like a main city with all of like these different NPCs. So this is the Blacksmith. You can salvage all your stuff just like Diablo 3. You can repair everything. But then they have this upgrade mechanic. So you can drop your item here, and for a certain number of resources, it's usually gold, silver, iron chunks, and I'm sure as you go up in ranks, the requirements are different. So like this helmet is just a rare, takes 10 and 3,000 gold, and if I go ahead and do this, you'll see now it takes all three of those and it's 7,000 upgrades. You can see everything in green is what would be upgraded on this item should I go ahead and upgrade it. Now sometimes it's way more worthwhile than others. Like I'm gonna go back to this, it was kind of wasteful because the plus to skills don't actually get upgraded here. So really all that's getting upgraded is the armor, which is kind of useless on this item, to be honest. And even though this is way more expensive to upgrade, it actually increases my core skill damage, my damage against distant enemies, my vulnerable damage. Yeah, like way more upgrades on something like that. So this is upgrading at the Blacksmith, and we'll go on to the next item here. And over here, we have your jeweler, and you can also buy rings and amulets over here. The jeweler allows you to upgrade your jewels. I don't really love this interface. It feels a little busy, but basically click here, costs 4,500 gold. It takes 3 of the previous. Take craft. It basically is taking the place of the Heraldric Cube from Diablo 2. I kind of wish you could just like put 3 of them together and right click or something. This feels a little cumbersome to have to come here to upgrade, but that's what you got. You can also unsocket items. One thing I found is if you have a gem socketed in an item and you go and you destroy it, you get the gem back. So that's pretty cool. So if you go to the Blacksmith and destroy an item, you get the gem back. Here, you can come over here and unsocket. Basically, it'll take the item out of your socketed gear without destroying the item. So that's kind of a good alternative. You could add sockets to items right from this menu using the scattered prisms. I have found one so far. I can't quite remember where it dropped, but it says here that it's often from large bodies such as world bosses. So I'm assuming like the big bosses will probably be the more frequent way to attain that. And then lastly, you can upgrade your jewelry. This upgrade system is very similar to the Blacksmith one. So you can come in here for a cost. You can increase certain stats on these items. And sometimes this seems really worth it. Like, look at that. Like, pretty much every stat on that item gets a boost. Whereas when I was doing the Blacksmith on this helm, I didn't get really much of anything. But, like, definitely it's more beneficial on some stats than others, it seems. And that's kind of weird. Like, why doesn't the maximum mana get boosted here? I don't understand the distinction at times, but we'll go ahead and we'll bump this one up one time. Gives me movement speed, fire damage over time. Actually, that's not very useful to me. This is better. Fire damage, cold damage, damage to close. Bam. And there you go. More stats. Numbers going up. And lastly, I want to look at the Occultist. This is the enchantment system, and I kind of messed up earlier. I had this Hydra imprint on a pair of gloves earlier, and if you look here, it won't let me actually do it because you can't extract a second time. I'm on the wrong tab, actually. Extract. I can't extract that item that's already been extracted. So, but I could take like this, And I can basically pull the special ability off of that legendary item. And I'll have like an item physically in my inventory. It goes actually to this aspect tab. And then I can put that onto items in the future using this tab. So if I have a rare item, let's say this item, and I want to give it a legendary ability, and this seems kind of what the end game is. It seems like rares are actually the best items, but that these legendary items have unique things, but then you can destroy the legendary, have basically the ability to imprint that on these rares. You also have codex abilities, so like when you accomplish certain things in the game, you get these codex abilities. So I could imprint this one. Damaging an elite enemy grants you a barrier absorbing 300 damage for 10 seconds. So I could say, I'm going to put that one on that helm, and it only costs me 6 crystals and 5,900 money here. And this codex, you can use these over and over again. It's not like a one-time thing. So that's pretty cool. It looks like the only one I can use. I might as well. The beta is going to be ending here soon, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that on there. Just to show you. Bam, and now I am using all legendaries. I didn't even get an achievement for that. That was kind of sucky. Or did I? No, that was just for imprinting. Other things, so they can extract, they can imprint, they can craft sigils, which appear to be related to making dungeons like a higher tier. Like it seems almost like a Path of Exile kind of thing, or like Diablo 3 had some of this with the rifts you could run. I have not got deep into this. I don't even know if you can access this stuff in the beta, but this seems to be tied into maybe dungeon running at the end of the game. And this is about crafting sigils.
I cannot make this right now.
This is about salvaging sigils. So this I can't talk about a lot because I don't think it's available in the beta. And then lastly, you can enchant an item. This is very much like Diablo 3. So actually I've already enchanted this one, but let me find one I have not. I think I just got these. Yeah. And I don't have the resource required to do this, but you'd basically say, okay, strength does not help me. So you click on strength, I hit this button, and it'll offer me 2 new abilities to take the place of strength. And you can either pick one of those 2 abilities, or you can keep strength. I don't have that rare resource. I've already done this a few times. I think it was on the helm, if I remember right. But it's kind of a cool ability, very much like Diablo 3 has a similar system. Here's another useful one. This is the Alchemist. You can find here in this quadrant of town. And I just actually hit level 20, and bam, now my potion will heal 80 instant life and 35%. It seems like the percentage is pretty much always 35%, but the flat amount goes up as you go up in level. Look how many resources it requires, though. It's kind of crazy. Like, there's so many different resources in the game, and one of the biggest uses for them seems to be upgrading your potion. You can also craft elixirs. I've got a couple of these, and I haven't used them one time. They just haven't really, I haven't needed them. But you can come in here, and using some of these resources, you can create additional elixirs. Maybe, you know, in the end game, like you need them, you're fighting something that has a lot of poison, and you throw up the poison resist one. But I have not found a huge use for them. You can also refine materials here. So it looks like this is like turning gallow vine into biteberry. Yeah, so it costs 5 gallow, and I get one of these, right? And it costs me 200 to do that. So like maybe if you have too much of one resource, it's a way to transfer it to a different resource. Over in this little area right here is your stash and your wardrobe, which basically it kind of seems like it's your bedroom is the way they're kind of presenting this, which is kind of cool instead of just being like in the middle of town. But it is also kind of off the beaten path. Like, I'm not over in this area too much. You've got your stash. You can buy additional stash tabs for 100,000 gold, and I'm assuming you could probably go higher and higher and higher. You can also edit this tab to have a different name. Cool stuff. Give it different icons. Maybe it's like your weapons, maybe it's your potions, whatever it is. Your wardrobe, I haven't dug into this deeply, but you basically can set up ensembles. So let's go back. I can change how these items look. So now I'm going to have that helm slot, even though I'm still using the same item. Tunic. I'm going to look like garbage. Bam. Go to empty slot. Save. Now I look like a pretty princess, right? Yeah. So that is the ensembles. You can unlock additional ensembles. So I guess like if you had like multiple looks you wanted to save, I don't really see the purpose of that, but you know, it's a thing. You can also change, like, let's go to that helm. Change the color palette, which actually that looks pretty cool the way they've got that. It's not like, remember Diablo 3, you could change the color. It was not great. It was not this good for sure. So I kind of like this. This is pretty cool. Make your weapon look different. I look like Sheik from The Legend of Zelda right now. I'm digging it, but I'm not going to keep this.
Okay, and this Purveyor of Curiosities down here, this is your gambling in the game. You don't use gold though, you get these obols, which you get for different objectives in the game, and it seems to have a really high rate of rares and legendaries. Like I spent 500 earlier and I walked away with 4 legendaries. I don't really have any particular item type I need here, but I do want to see lots of legendaries. Maybe we'll just do like...
Very nice, but
see if we get anything.
Better. Not
of course,
much,
not today. But I'll include a separate video where I show my gambling, and like literally I spent 500 of these things and got 4 legendaries in that time. But this is basically the gambling in Diablo 4. I don't think there's any gold gambling, but it's pretty cool the way they do it. One other thing I want to point out that's not super obvious is there's this W view rewards button. Like as you're progressing, you can actually unlock renown for each area of the game. Like there's only fractured peaks obviously in the beta, but you come in here and these items are these upgrades are available for all of your characters. So when you start a new character, they will now have 2 free skill points and a potion charge, and then each time you complete these with new characters, you get the bonus XP and extra gold and stuff. So it's kind of gamey. It feels a lot like a live service type thing, but it's kind of tucked out of the way. You don't get like, hey, get your daily rewards or anything like that. This is actually just for getting renown in the game. Not so intrusive, but it's super easy to miss, and this is 2 free skill points and a potion charge, which you definitely want.
Talk just briefly about items and some thoughts on them. So there's some ambiguity sometimes, like let me find... Okay, 12.6% core skill damage. Well, you might be wondering, how do I know what is considered a core skill? Okay, well, if you come in to the skill tab here, each of these are actually labels. These are basic, or defensive, conjuration, mastery, ultimate, and then these are your passives, which I don't think we can get to the beta because you need 9 more points, and I'm at 25 already. So you can almost always figure out, like, okay, what is this going to impart on my character? Is it really that beneficial? Another one I had some trouble with is, like, look there, lucky hit. When you hit a crowd control enemy, there's a 34% chance that that crowd control effect will spread to another unaffected enemy. Well, you might say to yourself, what's considered crowd control? Well, you can go into the stat menu here, and almost all of these have much more detailed definitions. So you come down here and you go, I think it's down, I know I saw it in here. Yeah, versus crowd control. So I have 9.4% damage versus crowd control, and it says, this includes those affected by slow, immobilize, stun, knockback, taunt, fear, tether, daze, chill, or freeze. So I'm doing a ton of chill and freeze. So this this ability on the bottom does get impacted by chill or freeze. And this is very true of almost all of your stat increases. I can come in here and like, okay, what does burning count as? Because I had an item that gave me, yeah, here it is, 2% fire damage over time. Reading that, I was thinking, okay, if I do 100 fire damage, I will do 2% over time. Well, no, it's not. This is what that stat actually means. It increases your burning damage. This includes fire damage over time, but not direct fire damage. So this will not impact like all of my fire damage, only the percent that's actually doing like dot damage. So there's a lot of times where I've had to like read and then come in here and actually get the more thorough definition. So just some hints. All right, well, I just wanted to spend a few minutes going over a couple of the systems that I've been, messing around with and kind of got some experience with. Obviously, this is not super deep. It's pretty superficial stuff. But if you're not in the beta or you're not able to play right now and you're kind of interested in how some of these systems work and want just a little bit bigger picture on it, that's the intent here. I do have a full 10-hour playthrough that's going to be going up over the next few days. You can check that out if you want the much more lengthy moment-to-moment gameplay. Also a few shorter videos just showing kind of my level 25 end game character and how they progress through some of these late game dungeons. But yeah, this is the end of the first beta weekend for me and where I left off. If you have any specific questions about my playtime, let me know. I think I will do a more thorough write-up and review of my entire time with the game pretty soon with my thoughts on the overall experience. But right now I'm super excited for the full release in a couple months. If you do like this video, please do like, subscribe, drop me a comment below with your thoughts. And once again, thank you for watching, everyone. Have a good night.